So, after a few days of putting this game off, not that I was Everlasting Summer, I should say, visual novel, I'm finally gonna get back to it. I had a few people on my Facebook page asking me, it's like, "Hey, when are you gonna get back to that?" I said, "Well, it'll be today." I put out 2 videos. I think the last time I said I was doing that because of the weekend. That was a Thursday, so I think I'm gonna guess. I don't remember. So, but being that I also have another channel besides this one that I started a month earlier. Yeah, you try to do different things. People say it's not really good to have 2 channels. Probably not, but I like making content. So even though both of my channels are kind of small, so a little bit helps. And for those of you that are new to this, that came from the compilation video that I did or whatnot, yeah, I don't do this is mainly what I do on the channel, but I also do little compilations once in a while, so hope you guys enjoyed that. The video quality isn't really the greatest though, that's the only downside to it, but either way, we're gonna get back into this, so yeah. For the first time today, I finally felt how tired I was. There was no light in the window, so Olga Dmitrievna must have been sleeping already. Strangely enough, she waited for me yesterday. I entered the cabin quietly, stripped, and laid on the bed. Stripped? You mean got undressed? My goodness, this word. When you think about it, my situation hadn't gotten any clearer today. In fact, I spent whole day doing useless stuff. I would have never have even thought about doing something like this in the real world. Although I had plenty of time, how much time I would have here in total is still a mystery. Maybe an eternity, or maybe there were only 5 minutes left. I just didn't want to think about the past, about how I got to this camp. For the first time in a long while, I finally felt really tired. Not only emotionally tired, but also physically tired. Psychologically, and God knows who else tired. My goodness. Wow. At least you can get to bed, all that tiredness. Me, it's like, if I can get to sleep, it's great. I'm usually more up at night as opposed to the daytime, but it depends. I just wanted everyone and everything to show off. Started with my own thoughts. I wanted this mess somehow resolved. This mess somehow resolved by itself, or at least without my active participation. And what if I'm stuck here forever? I still like to know how you got here, but I guess we'll find out. I think we already know which character probably is the reason he's there, but it's gonna be a while before I get to Eula's route. Yeah, then I'll have to get used to it. So just like that, I'm not ready. My consciousness slowly drifted away from me, and it became progressively harder to concentrate on something distinct. Perhaps it's better to wait until tomorrow. I rolled over and fell asleep. Day 3. And yeah, for some of you, on the last video that I made of this, I don't mind you guys giving me hints. I have one comment in there. Just try not to spoil anything for me or give things away. Uh, like, the card game. I did go back. You have to make sure, for those of you that are new to this as well, if you guys are following along all this time, for those of you that have been watching this, when you do the card game, you have to make sure if you want to, you need to lose the competition, but make sure you don't skip the tutorial, at least according to what somebody was telling me. I don't know whether it was a sub or somebody that just happened to leave a comment there. It doesn't really make a difference. That's fine. I'm hoping that's the case. I did go back and I did lose to Lena. And then, yeah. So, so I pretty much made sure of it beforehand. So, okay. The night left a feeling of anxiety behind. I woke up exhausted, both physically and mentally. It happens to me all the time, and you see incredibly lucid images in your dream, as if you fell into a Hollywood blockbuster with a plot full of twists, well paid actors, and multi-million dollar visual effects, and then you wake up in the morning without remembering a thing. That's what I was trying to do, to restore the images shown by my relaxed brain, but that part of my memory was empty, either achieved or formatted completely. Huh. It's 7 a.m. according to the clock. And since we are on day 3, we have a few different things that's going to happen here, or at least a few choices anyway. I seem to be an early bird today. I'm certainly not a morning person whatsoever. That would make me not want to get up. Nah. Olga was still sleeping, wrapping tightly in her blanket, wrapping so tightly in a hot summer. Probably used to it. I got up, stretched, and went to the mirror to have a look at myself. I better shave. Strange idea. Before twice a month was enough, but now nothing depends on the way I look. Because you don't have your beard anymore, right? I haven't found a razor anyway. What do I even need it if I look like I'm 17 at most? So, breakfast can't start earlier than 9 a.m., and this means I have plenty of time, which I could spend on walking and washing, for example. The water didn't seem as ice cold as the previous day. On the contrary, its refreshing coolness helped me to brace up and come back to reality, whether all these events could be called real. The tooth powder didn't seem to be such an outdated thing. A quick thought struck me that it's not that different from toothpaste. When I returned to the cabin, Olga was already up. She was standing in front of the mirror and fixing her hair. Good morning, Semyon. Morning. Because of a lack of sleep, my head was still singing and my thoughts were all jumbled together. However, I didn't regret waking up instead of my usual habit of sleeping in for 2 or 3 hours more. How come you got up so early? It just happened. And no neckerchief once again, and me. I'll do it myself, not a big deal. On my way to the canteen. I don't think so. Do it now. Did you forget about the lineup before breakfast? How could I ever forget? And what's the lineup going to be about today? We'll discuss the agenda for today. So what's the agenda? Frankly speaking, I didn't care for what might be on the agenda for our courageous pioneer troop. I was mostly interested in where our brave leader will send our little pioneer army for the following 12-15 hours. Maybe I could have managed to avoid enemy locations. My goodness, you really are all over the place, aren't you, with this? I mean, I guess in some ways I can kind of, you're in a new place, no idea how you got there. I guess there'd be a lot of questions going on in your brain, try to ask and stuff like that, but we need to get to some routes before those answers come into play, right? You'll find out at the lineup. My goodness, first time we actually got a smile out of you. She gave me a wily smile. Olga Dmitrievna, my stomach is getting upset. I'd rather, I believe that's okay to miss the lineup once. I could get all nasty if I failed to control it right there. What? Where did all this courage come from? I don't know. You have 5 more minutes. I'm afraid I need more time. Could you tell me right now, please? Sure, I'll try, but just in case it all goes down. Oh, fine. On our list for today is cleaning the camp locations, organizing the books in the library, some other minor tasks, and of course, we have a ball in the evening. Watch yourself. You must take part in the camp activities today. So he's a bit of a slacker. I'm not really all about cleaning myself. You bet. Definitely. And now I'd rather. Come on, let's hit the road. I came out of the cabin and hid in the bushes behind it, waiting for Olga and Dmitrievna to leave. Actually, I didn't have any particular reason to behave this way, but the voice within me kept telling me that I have nothing to do with the lineup. After the camp leader left, I went back to the cabin and decided to wait for breakfast there. Huh. Okay. Well, I'm not planning on taking part in community life today. Well, what are their choices is gonna say. So, looks like you're gonna be slacking off, cleaning and organizing. That's not what someone in my situation should be doing. I mean, I'm not really a clean person all like that either, but in this case, maybe if it's not all a bunch of stuff, I would see what it's about before I, judge it. Don't ask me to scrub toilets, that's where you would lose me there. 2 days have passed and I'm still right where I started. All the residents seemed to be perfectly ordinary people. They weren't involved in any conspiracy, weren't communicating with aliens, and had no idea about time warps. Of course, each of them is a bit peculiar, but those peculiarities do not seem out of line at all. Moreover, if I had met any of these pioneers in my familiar world, I wouldn't suspect anything wrong. Wow, because they're perfectly normal people. At least they look that way anyway. Although the Eula one looks like some type of wolf girl. I'm not really sure what she is. I guess we'll find out, right? They seem to be even more normal and natural than, let's say, yours truly. This line of reasoning was quite logical. The illogical part was the absence of answers. I only mentioned her is because there are pictures out there of her where she got some type of, I don't know. It's like maybe she's some type of half animal or something because the way her hair is, she's got like cat ears or something. Not really sure. Ordinary people in an extraordinary place. I've heard and seen that already somewhere. And we have not seen anybody that even looked remotely like her, that person anyway. Dozens of pioneers, or even more, live their familiar lives and do their regular stuff day by day. They don't understand what the world around them is not what it looks like. Okay, but this is their point of view. As for me, I'm not acquainted with the world of the Soviet camp and its residents, even if they seem to behave the way normal people would under the same circumstances. I have to decide here and now, are those people involved in what's happening to me? Don't know. Can they give any answers? Or do I have to seek the truth somewhere else? Who knows? It seems I overdid a bit with the thinking. There's no usual crowd of hungry pioneers near the canteen. Okay? Or even inside the canteen. Most of them probably had their breakfast before 9. That's even better. Two's company, three's a crowd. Lena was sitting in the farthest corner of the canteen, lazily picking with her fork at an amorphous lump that vaguely resembled porridge. Porridge. Okay. Having a breakfast with her seems like a good idea. We can have a chat in peace. Or at least try to have one. I was on the way to her table when suddenly somebody grabbed me by the sleeve. Okay. Xenia, the librarian. Okay. Get your medal and come. We need to talk. What are you waiting for? I was a bit confused. Pardon? Isn't this a bit too sudden? What's wrong? Get your meal and sit down. I suppose that she considers her behavior completely normal. Let me make a quick save here so I don't have to do any backtracking on this. I do believe we are not going to help Lena, so we are actually going to wait here. I'm not sure why, but I accepted the invitation. What if I can learn something new? She is such a bookworm. I'm pretty sure that's probably not what she has on her mind, though. A minute later, I was sitting in front of Xenia, with the tray and the simple meal on it. Porridge, 2 eggs, 4 pieces of white bread, a sausage, and a glass of Kempo. Wow. Going all out there, I see, huh? Bon appetit. Isn't that French? Or is that some other word? I don't know. Thanks. I decided to act as politely as I could and also eat more neatly, without chomping and spilling crumbs of food or drops of comfort. So, what do you want to talk about? Today at the library. I wasn't listening from this point onwards. I immediately recalled Olga Dmitrievna's words about the scheduled events for today. Don't forget. Oh, what? I said don't forget to visit the library after lunch. What for? Were you even listening? Nope. I admitted honestly. Xenia's face turned red, then appeared green, then took on a soft purple color. My goodness, you really do kind of get fired up. She obviously wants your attention for something, doesn't she? But that's the choice we have to go with if we want to do Slavia here. Today, after lunch, you in the library. Get it, dunce? Dunce? I was just gonna say that. What kind of a curse is that? Well, I mean, I always say there's different words out there that people use to kind of call people names. I always say you don't have to use the F word and all the time. I always say people come up with different ways of kind of throwing an insult at you, I guess. I don't know. Though a pioneer must never use a curse word. How could I forget this rule? Oh yeah, sure. I apologize, of course. I'll be there. Actually, I wasn't really planning to go anywhere, but if you want to make someone speak, you need to sacrifice a bit first. By the way, what year is it now? I totally lost count. My goodness, that was so random. I decided to play fair. She looked at me perplexedly. Answered. Have you gone completely bananas? Honestly, that's how I felt for the last few days. Xenia didn't reply. So what year is it? I mean, anybody who probably asked that question, even whether you thought this was a fictional world or not, that question would probably get anybody's attention. Like, what? It's like, you don't know what year it is. Where are you from? Are you in the real world here? It's like, I mean, there's days I don't always remember what day of the week it is. Sometimes that happens, but I don't know I don't know too many. Like, well, maybe when you get like, I don't know, like when you start getting to like older age, they do have, people when they start losing that part of their brain where they start to forget things, but that's usually like way later in life. If you're younger, like even when before, reverting to whatever age he is here, he was still only in his 20s, so that's not really, that's not that far out of the loop. I don't know. As far as that goes, that would be definitely rare on that case. Listen, why don't you visit the infirmary? Will they tell me what year it is there? My goodness. Oh, certainly, and even more. Stood up and headed to the exit. Wait, you didn't finish your meal. And it looks like she won't turn back. I think you scared her off with your, what year it was wording. I don't know. I was finishing chewing on the sausage, which tasted like a twisted pair cable. I wonder if they have internet access here. No idea. I guess not. A pioneer sitting at the next table noticed me talking to myself and stared at me. I smiled and waved to him in return. Well, there's some places where the reception is pretty horrible when it comes to internet service sometimes. So, I don't know. That could be an issue, you know. After such a friendly greeting, he, for some reason, left the canteen quickly without finishing his breakfast. Done with the food, it's time to search for some clues. Okay. Sometime later, I finally came to the infirmary. I have nothing to do in that place. Though the nurse seemed quite caring, it's better to keep a distance from her. Such benevolence is actually scary. She may know something, but I just hadn't the courage to enter the infirmary. Moreover, I had no reason to. Not a single one. Immersed in my own thoughts, I didn't notice the nurse who was standing on the porch. Hi there, pioneer. She came closer. You must be sick. Did you come for medicine? No, I was just wandering around. Oh, a truant, I see. But if you're here, I have a serious task for you. I gave her a look of inquiry. The word task made me feel uneasy, and it sounded like something inevitable. The nurse smiled spitefully. You both will help me to make an inventory of the supply of medicine which arrived today. Both? Who are we? Perhaps I misheard. But what word could be confused with both?
Hi.
Lena emerged from behind the nurse's back. It seemed strange that I hadn't noticed her until now. Wow, because you ignored helping her back there. That's what happened.
Come here after dinner. I have explained everything to Lena. She will tell you what to do.
Oh, wait. For some reason I was voicing Lena this way. My bad. But either way, we'll just go with it. Medicine supplied today. But Olga Dmitrievna told me that no bus would arrive in the next couple of days. So there were visitors to our camp today?
Yes, they arrived from the city this morning. Why are you asking?
Just curious.
All right then, Pioneer. So tonight, after dinner, you'll be here. Maybe
Lena was barely noticeable this whole time. Surely she's able to remain invisible like a skilled ninja.
I could do it on my own. No way. There are lots of boxes, and a Pioneer is always ready. Isn't that so, Pioneer?
Wow. She gazed at me and smiled menacingly. Well, pretty sure no harm could come from that. With somebody with this kind of getup, I'd be like, well, okay, as long as it's not too much of a hard task, I'll do it. I don't want to spend the whole evening doing something like this, and also I've got more important things to do. But rejecting this request would be really improper. If it wasn't Lena who was standing here, I would definitely take my way out. Okay, I could not pronounce Russian. So part of this game is not fully translated on certain questions, and when I originally started this game, I picked the English option on it. Said it was English, but apparently there's some not really sure what this is gonna lead. So I'm gonna have to make two saves here because I do not want that to screw up here. So let's put it there for the other one. This way, if anything does go bad with that, I'll at least know when to come back here. Uh, I'm gonna guess this because this is the second choice we have here. It says go look for answers. Do not help Lena. Well, that was the first one. We didn't do that. Okay, I'll come. Yeah. I'm gonna guess this Russian here has to do with uh, him doing his own thing. So let's go with this. Maybe I shouldn't have lied to her. I should think before I say something.
Oh, really? And what exactly are you going to be helping her with?
It was turning out bad, but I decided to stand my ground. Her cabin. What? She asked me to clean it up, sort out the things and so on. But you know what a mess the cabin is.
Sure, she asked you to tidy up her closet too.
The nurse looked at me so intently that Napoleon's fiasco at the Battle of Waterloo seemed now a small annoyance compared to my current flaw. I was gonna say something, but she continued to speak.
Okay then, Pioneer. We'll manage it without you.
I apologized, but you see, I said and looked at Lena. She stood looking at the ground like before, blushing more and more.
It's alright. I'll manage it on my own.
Okay then. An awkward silence followed. So what was that first one then? Were we supposed to actually, not really sure, because was there two parts where you have to help? Because I'm not really sure on that. I hope I didn't screw that up, but, you know, when this is the first time, obviously, you know, you never know how this is going to go. An awkward silence followed. I wanted to sink it to the ground because of my lame tie that had probably offended Lena.
Well, goodbye then.
Bye. The nurse was still smiling spitefully. I turned and walked away, almost running. Okay. Though, in fact, I really wanted to run. Common sense advised me not to. Okay.
I came back to my senses when I reached the square. So, what's next? I don't know. I decided to visit my cabin in order to collect my phone. I don't know where I'll find myself today, but having a watch is always useful. Though having a wristwatch is much easier. Suddenly, I heard a different tune which was cutting through the usual noise of the camp. I listened to it carefully. Sounds like an electric guitar. Three repeating chords, no more. But this melody still felt somehow warm, as if a vacuum tube based audio amplifier was used. Could there be such a luxury here? Don't know. The sound was definitely coming from somewhere near the stage area. I wonder who that could be. Probably gonna be Miku, right? Oh, so now we get another choice, and I'm not even sure what that other one was. It was some other choice that I had, so maybe that the one with Xenia. I'm not really sure what that choice was because unless if there's two of those choices where where you don't help Slavia, I mean Lena. I'm not really sure. Now they're actually giving me the choice of I better keep on looking for answers. I should go take a look, so we're not gonna do that. I'll just overwrite one of these saves, so I don't know. But I still have the other one in case, like I said, if it goes not the way I want it to. But the guide says as long as you get more points, at least enough for that person, you should be able to get on their route. A few people have told me that anyway. I don't know. The walkthrough said you have to have at least 9 points for a person. That's quite a lot. It's like how you gonna get that within a matter of 6 days? And some people don't even really have choices in certain days on those. So that's kind of interesting. Because apparently the first day the points don't really matter until day two. Well, I'm the type that disagrees with that anyway, so I like to be on the safe side. I don't know. So let's go with this. Whoever that is, what's the big deal? I have better things to do. And he was kind of already thinking in a certain way, wasn't he? He was already, wondering why he's in this world and all bunch of stuff. So maybe that's what that is. I have no idea. But I came back to the leader's cabin. Olga was lying lazily on her bed and reading a book. Are you sharing a room with this person? I thought you had your own room. That's interesting. Semyon, what are you doing here? That's what I could ask her too. I've forgotten something. So I came back. You were absent at the lineup. Oh yeah, I apologize. Alright. Nevertheless, you should do something useful today. Just as I planned. But I have my own vision of what useful means. Like, you could go to the square to help with the cleaning. Slavia is in charge there. Strange. I'd just been there and hadn't seen anyone. Oh, you could visit the boys at the electronics club. They asked me for a hand. Those fathers have invention again? Finally, you could help at the sports club. What are they up to? They're renewing the pitch, fixing the beach benches, changing the goal nets, and so on. Honestly, none of those options suited me. Why is she always trying to burden me with work? Seriously, except for Slavia, no one ever works here, while some people in particular are enjoying their free time with a youthful spirit. Well, you're obviously overlooking Slavia because that's something there. Every one of the leader's attempts to keep me busy seems to serve only one purpose, to prevent me from finding out my current location. Really, all the deep and vital questions concerning my existence are swept away by a broom, together with all the rubbish and litter. In my case, taking some time to work would probably pay off, but just like someone suffering gangrene and rejecting an amputation, I would stand by my beliefs. I already have my own arrangements. Oh, really? What kind of arrangements? She buckled up. She bucked up, I mean. Well, I can't just tell her what I'm really thinking about. On the other hand, why not? No, it's too dangerous. At least now I maintain a fragile balance and nothing is threatening to me. Everything seems that way. Just as I thought. What exactly she thought remained a secret. You probably have not yet realized how important it is to participate in social life. This is the only way to become a pioneer capable of being a role model. I didn't want to sit through another long lecture, so I decided to accept one of the offers. Sometimes the answers in this world can be found in the most unexpected places. Or at least so I wanted to believe. So, should I choose for you? The leader's voice turned authoritative. With that kind of face? Okay. I'm used to the other face that she does once in a while. Like that kind of grumpy look where she's got her, like she's like hunched down a little bit. I don't know. I can do it myself. Thank you. I mumbled and left the cabin. I'd rather help Slavia. I don't see. I don't really know. Obviously, now maybe the PC version of this might fix this problem. I don't know. You guys would have to let me know on that. But in here, it's kind of like, uh, it's like parts of it is like translated to English, but then there's parts that's not. I'm wondering if it's just like that naturally, or if it's all like that. Some of you, if they played this, let me know if this is like that. But either way, we're gonna go with this one. I may also show a little bit of this. Fine, I'll help the sports club thing, but I'll do that maybe in the next part just to kind of see what that's all about. So, yeah. So, don't go anywhere for the time being. Always choose a lesser of two evils, they say. Well, of three in this case. Slavia wasn't evil at all, so my choice was obvious. Any rational being keeps his house clean, but I usually perceive house cleaning as somewhat akin to gym workouts. Yeah, it's a good for you, but not my sort of thing at all. However, I like the ideas of painting benches of helping two future geniuses of Russian or Soviet sides even less. Huh. There were about a dozen pioneers at the square. Okay.